Welcome back, Spurs fans, to the Hepler football channel. We're kicking off a new season, the 21-22 Premier League season with the Tottenham Hotspurs. Today we're doing our preview ponderings, where we're going to discuss the upcoming match with Man City to open the season. I am doing this a little early. It's Thursday evening. There could be all kinds of news coming out over the next day or two prior to the match on Sunday. But I've got some things going on over the next few days where I'm going to be traveling and won't have an opportunity to get anything done between now and the match on Sunday. So I'm going to get this done, put together, put it up on the YouTube. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel. Please support the channel. I definitely would appreciate it. And hit the like button. If you have anything that you want to comment on or having a discussion about that we go over within this video, put that down in the comments section. Let's have a conversation. So with that being said, let's talk about this upcoming opening match. Lots happened this offseason. Not so much as comings and goings and transfers and such, but mostly the stuff that's been going on with Harry Kane over the past 3-4 weeks. We got Son re-signed, which is a good thing. 5-year deal, great job there for the Spurs. So definitely had a few things going on. Had a couple good showings internationally for some of our players. You know, Højbjerg, he played well with Denmark. Now with our signing of Cristiano Romero, we have 2 Copa America winners on the team, Lo Celso and Romero. Actually, Lo Celso, I thought, played really well in that competition, helping Argentina get to that championship match and beat Brazil. So definitely a good match there, and of course Romero did a great job too. So, you know, some success for some of our players in this summer, the off season. Some of them didn't get a lot of rest. Some of our key players. You look at Kane right now. Kane's still a Spurs player, so we're going to talk about Kane a little bit as a Spur and what that means for the Spurs here. But if we look at the finishings of last season for Man City and the Spurs, obviously Man City won the Premier League last year. Kind of running away with it, actually. So Spurs, we finished 7th. We struggled to even get into any kind of European competition. We just had such a terrible 3 quarters of the season after we got off to such a great start. And we're actually competing for first place going into Christmas at that time. But definitely did not work out for us very well. You know, the teams, when you look at the teams, there's definitely been a little bit of turnover, but not a great deal as far as the Spurs are concerned. We sold a player here or there and brought in a couple players. Now, as it stands, it doesn't look like Romero's going to be available. He picked up a knock in the Copa, and he's still kind of coming back from that. So everything has been set up to date, which is, again, this is Thursday night. It does not appear that Romero's going to be available for the match. Kane also played late into the tournament in the Euros this summer. Didn't get a lot of time off, so whether he's available or not, plus with all the reports that he may be going to Man City, is he really available? Even though he's still a Spur, is he someone that's actually going to be able to contribute to the team? And so no one knows at this point. Only Nuno and Harry and the rest of the Spurs know what's going to happen with that at this point in time. Or if he's not sold, what's going to happen? What are they going to do come Sunday? You know, on Man City's side, they brought in Grealish. I mean, they've plopped down a lot of money in this transfer window already. They've spent around 120, 140 million already. Of course, the majority of that goes to Grealish. But they've strengthened their squad. Now they do have a couple of injuries. We're looking at De Bruyne specifically has issues. Also, Phil Foden, not likely that they're going to be playing in this match. So if you look at it from an aspect of talent that's available, they're missing a couple of pretty significant fellas in their side. So one of them's definitely a all-the-time starter with De Bruyne, and Foden, he came on last season. He had a good season in the Premier League. Didn't have a strong Euros, but picked up an injury there and still is recovering from that. So they're going to be missing a couple points. But I mean, it's Man City. They're still pretty well loaded. They still don't have a striker, so they'll probably be playing very similarly to the way they did last season. That false nine methodology, but they still have a very solid team. Probably, if you had to look at it right now, one of the top 2 or 3 teams that will be competing for the Premier League Championship this year. And so, but what they're going to be. They're going to be attacking, they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be threatening throughout the entire match. Spurs got a new manager. Got Nuno in the door. It only took a few months, that's all. Just 2 or 3 months to get a manager. Whatever, it's what we do. But I've always thought Nuno's a pretty good manager. Always seemed to get the most out of what he had at Wolves. So they felt like it was time to move on from him, and we were needing someone, and no one wanted the job. So okay, well, let's get Nuno in. But I don't think he's a bad manager. I don't think he's the best that we could have hoped for, but we could have done worse. It could have happened a lot earlier, and it did. But we are where we're at. So what is Nuno really going to do with this team? We have not moved a lot of the players out that we needed to, even though we haven't brought many in. We brought in a goalie, a winger for the future, and a center back who will come right in once he's actually able to start and play with Romero. But beyond that, really, the squad's pretty much the same as it was last season, which, if you look at it that way, even including Kane in that, it doesn't generate a lot of excitement and bode positively for the Spurs, in my opinion. Now, I think Nuno can actually help us be a better defensive team, providing he uses the right personnel. And that's going to be what it all comes down to. Who's Nuno going to lean on getting off on the first of this season, and then who are going to be the people that he gets out there regularly to try to get us results. I mean, if the preseason any indication, which I don't put a lot of merit in the preseason, he's trying to figure out who he has, what he has, and what they can do in the way he wants them to operate. So a lot of that's just him trying to figure things out beyond what they do day in and day out on the training grounds. So, I know the team, the squad he's thrown out over the past preseason matches and such, but and part of that's getting to see some of the young talent that we have and how they function and flow within the team. It does concern me. The best signing that we got in the offseason, he's not going to be available, which is in our most at-need area on the pitch, which is defense. And we just don't have great options. I mean, there just isn't at this point within the context of who I think he'll actually use. If you rank our defensive center backs, of course, Romero's going to be probably the first one on the board for everyone. But after that, you got Sanchez, Tanganga, Dyer, and Rodin. And then in a pinch, you can do Davies. Davies can play center back. Of all those, the only ones that have proven themselves are Sanchez and Dyer, and they've proven themselves to be inadequate to be able to hold those positions down. Rodon's still developing, and the times he was in the team and in the center back position last year, he was actually one of our best center backs, maybe next to Toby. And Rodon showed the most promise, the most intelligence within that position for me last year of those three. Now, Tanganga, I know he's played a lot. They've used him at right back a lot last year. He's even played the little right back this year. And personally, I think that's where he should be for this match. He proved last year against Man City that he can shut down Foden, and the wingers they kept throwing out there. And we're going to need a stopper out there. We don't need a winger that's going to bomb forward and try to get into the offense as much as we need someone that can actually hold up there. Now, if he decides to go three at the back, that gives you some options. But I still don't think they're great options. But I just think we're very limited in what we have available. And what's going to happen with Kane. I mean, in my personal opinion, with Kane, if he doesn't get sold within the next week, he's going to be with the Spurs at least till Christmas and into the January window, where that's the earliest that they could leave. If he doesn't get sold by the end of this week, we're not getting anyone in to kind of soften the blow of him leaving, because there's no one that's going to replace him. But we're not going to get anyone in to soften that blow before this window closes, because Levy just does not move that fast. I don't care how much they've been working and pressing, and he will drag everything out to the nth degree to save a dime. And that's what he'll do. And we'll miss out on this window in collecting any more players that can actually help this team, because he's waiting and sitting what's going to happen with Kane. And if anything, I think Kane's going to be here if it goes another week. He won't leave in this window, I don't think. And if he does, we're just completely hosed on getting anything done, because the window's going to close shortly after that. And Levy's not going to have any time to get anything done in the manner in which he gets things done. So that's just my opinion. But definitely going to be an interesting match. It really is going to come down to the lineup. I don't think, if Nuno keeps playing the lineup that he's had during preseason, which I would agree, you don't have your full complement of players either during preseason, because some of them were, at least this summer, some of them were out playing, international ball. So you didn't have everyone for all the preseason games and such. So it's going to be very interesting how he sets this team up. The key is going to be, in my opinion, in the midfield. Because that was our sore spot beyond the defense last year. The sore spot for us was in the midfield, because they couldn't hold up and protect the defense enough. And then when we had the ball, they couldn't transition well enough. So what he does within that midfield, I think, is going to be key to whether we do anything in this match against Manchester City. Because it's really going to be up to Song, maybe Mora, whoever else he may throw out there up front. If Kane plays, I mean, the likelihood, I think, is very slim, because there are ongoing talks and negotiations with Man City. But he is a Spurs player still, so it is what it is. It's actually a very frustrating start to this season for us. Like I said, Man City spent $140 million, even though they got some injuries to some key players. They've also brought in some significant talent. We spent 27 million in the market so far, and done nothing to actually improve the first team for the first game. Because, again, we're thinking Romero's not playing. If you look at our upcoming schedule, you know, we got some opportunities within the first 5-6 games, but there's also, when you look at the back end of the first 5 or 6 games, you got Chelsea and Arsenal. Chelsea right now, I would say, is probably the leading contender to compete with Manchester City for this season in the Premier League. With how they finished the season, winning the Champions League, how they've played leading up in, and then also the Super Cup here against Villarreal. I think they're the team that has the most potential to duke it out with Man City. And so that game, that we're going to come up to them here in about a month or a little more, a little farther off, that's not looking good. So, I mean, we could sit here at the end of September, we could sit here with 3 losses on the board with Man City, Chelsea, and potentially Arsenal. And then what do you do with Crystal Palace, Watford, and Wolverhampton? I mean, the Wolves probably should beat them. They're getting kind of, ransacked. A lot of people are taking, buying up their players and stuff. Crystal Palace, they're still what they are, but they always give us fits. So if we walk out of these first 6 games, we could be sitting 1, 2, and 3, or maybe 2 and 2 at best. I mean, I don't see much better. I mean, I almost have to give us right off the bat 2 losses with Man City and Chelsea at this point. And I don't know. Let me know what you all think. This has been quite a ride for the last few weeks. Ponder upon this. If Kane doesn't get sold to Man City in this window, and he stays and actually plays for the Spurs, and we're competing in the top 5 by the end of December, does he go? And would it be contingent on what actually Levy does in the first week of that January window? He may give him, and there's been a lot of talk about this new contract for Kane, which could be smoke and mirrors or whatever. But if he actually signs a new contract, that's actually, in my opinion, better for Spurs, because then that really ups the ante for Man City to kick in and pay up, or we get another year of the best striker in the Premier League easily, if not in the world. So, and I know everyone's pretty harsh on Harry Kane right now, but if the guy's going to be here and he knows he's going to be here, I'm pretty sure he's going to play and play to the best of his ability. That's just because of the ambitions he has. Trying to get the all-time league goals record, and I think that's just, and it just keeps his stock high and keeps him up there. So I think that's what's going to happen. But this match, if Nuno puts out the team I think he should put out, I think we're going to end up with a 2-1 loss. If he puts out anything other than the team I think he'll put out, which I'll talk about in my predicted ponderings in the next video, it could get really ugly. So let me know what you all think. Let me know what you all think about this past offseason here. And let me know what you think is going to happen with Kane. Should he play? Shouldn't he play? Is he really still a Spur? Whatever. But let me know what you all think. And what do y'all think about Nuno? I mean, I'm going to wait and see. I don't think he's a bad manager. I just don't know if he's the right one for us. And I guess we're going to wait and find out. But, new season, new life. And let's see what happens on Sunday. Come on, you Spurs.